What's up, y'all? Welcome to another review by Ryan. Happy Thursday. It is Thursday, August 11th, and I hope you all are having a wonderful day wherever you're at in the world. A very big thank you to those who've waited patiently for my RWBY Ice Queendom Episode 6 reaction, which is what this video will be for. Everything ended up completely out of order due to my trip, and it took me far longer to get in a good enough place to be able to put a few more reactions together, primarily because, by popular demand, a lot of you asked me to do episode overlays in these reactions, and unfortunately by doing that, it takes considerably longer to put the reaction together. What normally would take me only an hour after reaction to do, now takes me 3 to 4 hours because I have to find the video, make sure the video is not going to put a virus on my computer, and so on and so forth, since I do legally subscribe to animes and stuff like that. So it's a bit of a pain having to put everything together. And then I had to find a software that would allow me to put all the different overlays in one video, including the blur screen, so that I don't get taken off of YouTube. But for all of you, I have done that, and moving forward, it's going to take a bit longer for my reactions to come out, but I will have the episode overlays for your viewing pleasure. So, with that said, we are going to react to episode 6, and just a couple thoughts about the last episode, Awaken in a Dream. Again, I watched this episode while I was away in Montreal, and just from the bits that I caught of it, we definitely got to dig more into the complexity of Weiss's character, of how she feels about the Faunus, how she feels about RWBY, how she feels about everything about the circumstances of her life up to this point. And you can tell that the Nightmare Grim has really taken a it has dug itself deep in her mind and soul. So this is going to be a really big journey to get her out of this. RWBY did not fare very well against her in the first fight. For a moment, it looked like she was going to be okay, but she didn't fare very well. You know, Weiss has been saying some pretty cruel stuff since RWBY entered the world, and obviously we know that this is Dream Weiss, but you know, she's stuck there now. So she did get pulled out by Xion because she wasn't handling it well, and as you now know, Blake, RWBY, and Yang have all entered together to try to deal with getting her again, only to have to turn themselves in to have a better chance of getting close to Weiss, which, as we saw at the end of the episode, well, there they are, right up against Weiss herself. So my opinions up to episode 5, as we go into this 6th episode with how they are portraying this additional story, because that's really what this is. This was not meant to replace the original RWBY. This is meant to be its own story while also being an extension of the RWBY franchise. And when you think of this entire anime so far as an extension of that, I think it is doing a phenomenally good job. I actually have continued to give it an 8. Unfortunately, there's a chunk of the community that does not agree with that, which is primarily the part of the community that was pretty much ride and die of the original. And again, I love many aspects of the original too. I obviously fell off in the last couple of volumes because of just how the writing was going and just how everything was being portrayed and just general sloppiness here and there. But I truly believe that this anime has put us on a path to success. I believe that now that this anime has come out, it is kind of picked everyone's energy up. It's helped everyone be motivated for the series again, and I for one think that that is a successful series, since now all of you are talking about RWBY again, and a lot of you had stopped talking about RWBY for years up to this anime dropping. So I'm very interested to see how things are going to play out now with this second showdown between RWBY and them and Weiss. How Weiss is going to deal with her own internal nightmare and struggle, and I can't wait to start this episode. So I'm gonna go put some eye drops in my eye real quick, and once I'm done with that, I'll be back to start the episode. And I am back. Let's go ahead and get this episode started. I forgot to talk about the title before we start the episode. The title of today's episode, episode 6, is Do You Have a Plan? So let me get this pulled back up here. Alright, let's go ahead and get this video reaction started in 3, 2, 1. I swear I love Weiss in this entire outfit and attire. Hey. Oh, Ruby and them are precious imperial subjects. Oh. Oh man, I'm actually pretty hyped for how this episode's about to be. All right, let's go. I'm just really enjoying us diving into Weiss's mind more like this. I really am, and I know some people don't care too much for it, but I'm enjoying it. And this opening and ending is such a banger. Oh, and how could I forget to talk about the Mirror by Pierre? That was very nice. I did not see that coming, but that was nice though. That was really nice last episode. Dang, I completely forgot to talk about that. Yeah. Because that's the ultimate goal in here. What? Ruby. Goodness, I'm calling you Weiss now. I swear. Yep, the relic that they got from the bed. Grumpy Klein. I mean, that's literally what your family has pushed on you to start with. But of course, in this world, it's going to be very hard for her to understand that. Of course not. I mean, in this world, we just said that she can pretty much do whatever she wants. Bro, y'all so damn annoying. Bruh, not anything. Man, y'all got stormtrooper-like aim. I swear. Bruh, I feel like Yang only used like 5% of her strength. I feel like this is going too well. Pretty much. Jeez. Y'all don't have a lot of options left. I think that's a smart thing to do. Oh boy. Alright, y'all. Dang! Of course. And now we're down to 3. Oh boy. Oh? Oh boy. All of her inner feelings that she was suppressing is coming out. I swear. Bruh, aren't we down to 1 now? Oh, damn. Oh. Dang. Oh, she pulled him back? Oh, she's pulling him back. Damn, it didn't work. Oh, and she sustains those injuries in real life too. Dang. Damn. We really needed to wrap this up in a second though. Because now Weiss is going to be completely. Yeah, but she's now completely on edge now. She's gone. Yeah. Third time's a charm. For better or worse, y'all got to get it down now. We have been at this for quite a number of episodes now. Mm. Um, aw. My friend Ruby's older sister. Oh my goodness. I love Penny. It doesn't even matter because of. Yeah, it might be for protection. Yeah. And in that world, with her entire fight against the Sneed family while also trying to hold up to its name, it wouldn't surprise me that she would try to hide away people she cares about. That's one way to think of dreams. I mean, it's possible. However, it is going to be incredibly difficult, as we've learned from our first two rodeos in there. Yeah. I don't know why, but I love her model in this adaptation so much. And I actually didn't care as much for Blake like that, but I really vibe with Blake in this adaptation. Right. But this is very different from what they're dealing with. Bro, people just be showing up in this show, I swear. Yes. I like how Blake just showed up like she a badass. I, Alright. I'm sure there's going to be pretty heavy resistance at first, though, if that's how y'all are going to try to go about it. Oh. Oh, Nora, don't be that way. Oh boy, because he was someone who used to be possessed once, of course. So nonchalant. Please stay alive. Can I tell you how happy it is, how wonderful it makes me to see Pierre on screen? All right. Third time's a charm. Man, I just continue to say, Weiss is such a complex person that, it's going to take a lot to break her out of this. And I mean, obviously, they elaborated quite a bit more when you watch the original series with how deeply entrenched she is with her life, with her family and her sister and her brother and her dad, and the complexity of it all. So it's a surprise that something like this didn't happen to Weiss much sooner in the original series, to be honest. Dreams come rude. Oh boy. Hey. Oh man. All right. So, after I get my screen to work as I want it to. All right, so just to talk a little bit about how this episode went. So they didn't succeed again, and I can't say I'm surprised. We're realizing more and more just how deeply entrenched this nightmare has made itself in Weiss's consciousness and her very soul and existence. And while we know she is fighting because the stigma of her family and everything that Weiss has struggled throughout the duration of the original series, and obviously we can assume throughout the duration of this story, up to the point that it's just a really, really hard thing to overcome, trying to break her out. And obviously the ultimate thing is we're going to try to hope the power of friendship is going to be able to get her out of it. But one thing I really have liked about the original is that they've shown that it's not as simple as it may appear. And even if they're able to break her from this nightmare, I feel there's going to be a long road of recovery from her, because unlike John, she's pretty fucked right now, to be honest. So I do like the fact that because he was taken over, that he will have the immunities that are necessary. It's almost similar to the COVID stuff that we're going through right now. And once you get it, you've kind of gained somewhat of an immunity or antibodies, or just like anything in general, any type of virus, that once you have it, you become immune. So it's very smart bringing John into the mix. Of course, we need him not to kill himself. Wouldn't that be something? We lose Pierre in the original, and now we lose him. But regardless, I'm very interested to see how things are going to play out now that the four of them are back in there. And again, they've been warned that this is it. There's not going to be any chances after this third chance. This is it, because Weiss is pretty much knocking on death's door in that world now, and to the point that now she's even defending and protecting. She's defending the very thing that they need to destroy so that she can be free, which already tells us that if she is fighting internally, she's already almost completely far gone. So I'm very interested in the approach that they've chosen to take about this. And again, it just kind of leads on to the complexity of Weiss's character as a whole. Now, there's one thing that I do want to say here before I wrap this reaction up. There wasn't as much talking this reaction from me, a bit more paying attention, a bit more making sure I don't miss anything. And quite frankly, it was a little bit of probably a little bit of a reduction in action from what we've had so far this season. And I feel that was necessary just to kind of renew our resolve for what we are aiming for. With that said, I do want to bring up one negative that it's not as much of a negative to me, but it is a negative for those people who haven't watched the original that you've continued to say throughout the duration of this adaptation. And it is not a negative that I'm going to ignore because you have every right to say it. And it's the fact that it's very clear by the story writers, even 6 episodes in now, that they expect you to have some form of a fundamental emotional understanding of the main characters here. Walking into this show with absolutely no knowledge of the original series, all of these bonds, why Weiss sees these people so close to her, will just completely go over your head without the context of the original. And that's why, as I said at the beginning of this reaction, and I'm probably going to say throughout the duration of this adaptation, it's really the reason why I treat this as an extension to the original and not a replacement. If I was treating this as a replacement to the original, if I'm being completely honest with you, I'd probably feel very similar to the rest of you and would probably be giving it much lower marks than I am. But to this stage, it still sits at around a 7.5 to 8 for me. But I would like to see just a little bit of more attention to cohesiveness with the emotional state of trying to reach out to more people, because I'm starting to realize that I have to take points a little bit away from the series just because of the fact that there are so many assumptions being made that it's going to be very hard for me to hope that I can get some of my friends that are around me to watch this series without any knowledge of the original, and it's just not going to happen because of the way that this story is going. So from an additional standpoint, from a DLC standpoint, just from an additional layer to this show, I think that this anime is doing exactly what it set out to do. But from just an original story point standpoint, without you having any knowledge, I completely understand and respect if some of you are now halfway through this season and are just like, I understand what's happening, I get why it's happening, but I can't feel the emotional bond because to your mindset, to your state, there is so much that has not been said off screen that you would really need to watch the original to understand, especially with the emotional bond that these girls in Team RWBY share with each other. So I understand that completely. I have no issues with that being the case. And I'm just interested to see how they're going to go about the storytelling for this from this point forward. So that is my reaction, though. Thank you so much for watching and listening. If you did like the reaction, please consider liking and subscribing to the video on the channel. If you want to be one of the first to be notified when a new reaction becomes available, hit the bell icon. So next week, we will have episode 7 of RWBY Ice Queendom. The title is Dreams Come Rude. R-U-E-D. So that's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. I should be on track with next week's episode. I will be returning from New York on Sunday, but at most it'll be about a day delay or so, and this should be mostly on track. And then my work travel is my work/leisure travel is done for a while until Singapore and New York at the end of the year. So my reaction should be on schedule after that point, and I hope you guys look forward to watching them. So until the next reaction, catch you later.